All right, so let's focus on styling this toolbar. It looks a little clunky over here. I don't have much space, so we can make it smaller and maybe tweak the buttons a little bit. To style the toolbar, we have two options. If we take a look at our app blade file, the package actually added this rich text styles component to our application. And if we take a look at that in the source code of the package, this pretty much just adds a style tag with all the components, with all the styles from tricks, and that's based on action text. So action text also does the same thing, although nowadays it actually exports this to your application, so you feel like you can change this stuff. I may do that eventually. So you can change these styles manually, and there is actually a nice package over here. You can see how tricks can look very different than most people would think. But you can see that this is actually tricks, and these are the CSS used to style tricks this way. You can see that it actually looks pretty good. Two ways, right? We have the CSS way, or we have the Tailwind way, which we can do. And that's the way we are going to approach over here in the video. So if we take a look at the source code for tricks, you can find the toolbar in the config. And this is actually the HTML that tricks will render inside the toolbar element. We can copy that and we can go to our tricks input. And as you can see, the toolbar is rendered over here. So the thing is, we can pretty much put whatever we want over here, like primary button, bold. And tricks will actually treat that as our toolbar. Let's give it a type of a button so it doesn't submit the form. But hello world over here, if we press, nothing happens. That's because tricks doesn't actually know about this button, besides the fact that it's inside the toolbar. So what we can do is, from this entire HTML, to make it work, we just have to respect the data tricks attribute and data tricks key, and there are some others like tricks action, and I think that's pretty much it. So to make it work as a bold, we just have to add these attributes to our button. And all of a sudden, hello world, bold, and it's actually making it bold. And not just that, but now tricks also adds a data attribute when it's active. So if the element that our cursor is on has activated this toolbar item, it will put a data tricks active as well as a tricks active class. But the data tricks active is what we might use to style it, because we can just do a CSS like this and then data tricks active, let's say BG indigo 600. Let's make it important. Now if we activate with a keyboard, you can see that it's actually activated. And that's pretty much it to making custom toolbars, at least style-wise. There's going to be another video on how we can add stuff to the toolbar. But for now, I'm just concerned with styling. So it would be cool if the toolbar was actually integrated like as part of the input, and we can put this focus ring over here around the entire thing. So let's wrap this in a div, and then we can put this entire thing inside that div. And what's cool about this is now we can say that this toolbar actually has no border, and I'll use the important over here. And I'll actually copy this border stuff as well as the background, the text, and focus bar, the entire focus definition over here, and rounded as well, shadow. Yeah, the rest can stay because that's about the styling content itself. And I'm gonna move that to the div over here. And let's see what we get. Oh, nothing. Okay, so that's because we need to change the focus to focus ring, and I'm gonna do that like this. So find any focus and replace that with focus within. And globally in this file, save, and then let's see. Okay, so we got the focus border correctly, but the toolbar doesn't actually look that good. So let's make it, let's remove these styles because I don't think we need it anymore because we are going with custom styles. But let's make it like BG white, and if it's dark, BG gray 900. Let's take a look at that. Maybe 800 because then we can see it. Okay, so it's actually working. Cool. So we have to make it around the top MD to match the same rounding as the parent over there. That should be fine. Now let's add a border bottom, and we can make it in dark. We can make it border gray 900, no 700. Okay, so it's getting somewhere. Now let's add some shadow, just small shadow, not fancy. And let's make it sticky. So the thing about tricks is it expands the more content you add to it, it will expand. And I want toolbar to always be visible. So let's give it top 0 and inset x 0. So now let's test that. So if we scroll down, it will stay visible. So that's good. Okay, so I'm actually going to copy this part over here and paste it down here. And then we can have span and closing div. Yeah, so as you can see, there's a border both in the button, and so we could say margin MB0, I think. Yeah, we might have to force it. So let's go with MB0 important. Oh, it's not in the row, it's in this other one over here. Okay, so let's MB0 here, and then we can remove this. Let's force it down here, be important. And what else? Oh, the border in the button itself. So I actually prepared a button to use over here. So if we take a look at my components, there's a tricks toolbar component and some icons from hero icons, and yeah, so we can actually use that one. It has some styles and whatnot, so I'm just going to use that instead of this one. And just like that, it's almost good. It just has to remove the border. Let's make it not have a border none, and it has to be important. No. Okay, that's good. So we got both working. So now let's add the other ones, and I'm gonna paste them. If I just paste it over here. Yeah, so now we got the entire thing. Let's add a border around the field because it looks weird right now. Okay, that's better. And this actually matches the look of the other fields, so that's good. We are missing the undo and redo arrows over here, so I'm just gonna paste it down here, I think. And we also need to remove the border over here. Border not. And we also need to remove the margin button. This is just because we are reusing tricks classes. We didn't have to, but I'm using that. Okay. So we got everything working again. Everything except the link, which actually uses Trix dialogues over here. So Trix has the concept of dialogues built in. We could use our own dialogue if we wanted to, our own modal. Laravel Breeze actually has modals over here, so we could use this instead of Trix's dialogues, but it's easier if we just reuse Trix's dialogues. So let's do that instead. So I'm gonna copy this part over here and I'm gonna paste it down here. Okay, as you can see, it actually blinks. And I tried using Alpine's X-Cloak over here, but it doesn't work. So we are gonna roll our own version of the cloaking behavior. So we are going to do a data cloak, and we have to go to our CSS file, display none, and then we have to go to a JS file. And over here, we can just find all elements that have the data cloak attribute on them. And for each one of them, we are going to remove the attribute data cloak. That should be. So now if we inspect the toolbar dialogs, there should be no data cloak element, the attribute, and yeah, flickering is gone. But the style still looks awful. So that's because we copied it from Trix and we don't actually have the internationalization part of Trix working over here. So I'm actually going to do is I'm gonna replace this whole thing with my own toolbar dialog. And that's pretty much the same thing, except that I changed some styles and also replaced the Trix internationalization stuff with Laravel's. With any luck, hello world, and we trigger that. That looks better, except that we don't actually want the borders around the links over here. Order none. And let's see what we get now. Link and then link. Okay, that's good. Let's just make it one, maybe like, okay, that's looking better, I think. And this field is actually required, so we have to do this and paste the link and all that. So everything is working. Also, if we use the keyboard shortcut, so in my case, it's Control K, I can add the link over here, and also I can trigger the dialog however I want to. As I said, we could use our own dialogue. It's just easier if we just reuse Trix's dialogue. So with that, we got everything working over here. So I can add some code, echo hello. I can also, and here's a quote, something, something, and that's cool. So we can create it, and this is looking terrible, but that's because we have a custom code over here for the pre-tags. Let's copy this pre-tags formatting over here, and we'll also apply that to whenever we are displaying the content over here. So let's just do this, and it should be good. Oh, we also have to copy, I forgot one. We have to copy the background. And with any luck, it should work better. Yes. So yeah, we got Tricks working over here. It's working over here as well. A lot of spacing over here. So let's take a look at that. Oh, there's a margin. Yeah, that's because we are applying margin top over here. I don't want that. Let's do that for the edit as well. So just remove that. And yeah, that's way better, I think. All right, so let's just test the light mode version. So close your eyes for a second, and yeah, that's almost looking good. It's just that inputs over here, they have a white background, so we just have to do that. Let's go to the tricks input over here where we're setting the background. Yeah, we just make it BG white, and then we don't actually have to add the BG white over here because it already has that. Okay, so that should be good, and it is. So yeah, let's make it this one a link so we can test it, and everything's looking good, I think. So let's go back to dark mode, and yeah, looking good. So yeah, that's how you can style the tricks toolbar to match your design. In this video, we just saw how to style it, but we are still using the same tricks actions. There is going to be another video dedicated to adding a custom action to tricks, maybe an emoji drop down, or maybe colors, or Tricks doesn't actually have a auto linker thing. We have to manually link things. So it would be good if we added some auto link behavior. That stuff's coming. So let's wrap up over here, and that's what I wanted to show, how you can style the toolbar to match your designs. And we got everything working, so that's good. So in the next video, we're going to talk about one of these tricks buttons that's not actually working yet. We'll see why, and we'll make it work in the next video. So I'll see you there.